about to get started. Hey everybody, welcome to EPCOT. But not the EPCOT you'd expect to see. This is the part of the EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival here, and this is the Floriculture Performance Trials, which is hosted by the FNGLA, the Florida Nurserymen, Growers and Landscape Association. And it's middle of May, it's a little toasty out, but we're looking at more than 200 new varieties from the industry, from about 20 different breeders, distributors, and even University of Florida's got some beautiful Caladiums right over here. So we're going to look around, look at some new varieties, and see if we can find some folks to talk to about some of the things they're introducing and how they're holding up in this Florida heat and humidity. Hey everybody, look who I found, my buddy Dean Bemis from Syngenta Flowers, right up near me in Chicago. Dean, you got a nice little display out here. Why don't you show us a few of the varieties that people kind of like?
Well, Chris, as you can guess, Florida, with all of its heat stress, high humidity, is a very taxing test for any of the varieties.
Your forehead right there.
There's a few little beads of, yeah, that's a Chicago sweat. Also my white arms too. But one of the things I wanted to point out, this lobelia, it's called Techno Heat Upright Light Blue. And it's got a big name, but the performance in all types of stress conditions is really somewhat astounding for a lobelia. We also have a lot of colors available in this particular type, so that was a real standout to us. Another variety I think that really does well in these conditions, you can see the Angelonia, that's called Carita Raspberry. What we like about our Carita series is the fact that it has flowers all the way around the branch, not just on one side. You can see the color is nice and fresh, and it doesn't seem to mind the Florida conditions at all. And if I get to talk about three things, the last thing I probably should talk about would be the Bombay, which is our Scaevola. One of the things that the growers have been commenting on is Scaevola does very well in Florida, which is known by all. But this has an extremely large flower and shows a lot of color impact for a Scaevola. And we normally breed these things for combination planters where you want a thriller, a filler, and a spiller. These make a great spiller, but as you can see, they also make a great ground cover.
All right, proven winners. Doug Parkinson, how's it going, buddy?
Great.
What do you got new here to show us? Or actually, some of the things you pointed out, again, not brand new, but you said they're new to the Floridians and to the folks down here.
Sure, some items that, and actually one of them here in front of us, the Macrodonia Gold Dust, is both new to the market and obviously new here to Florida then.
This was introduced, I think, last year at Spring Trials?
Yes, this was introduced last year at Spring Trials.
I love this one myself, this beautiful, low-growing, ground cover habit, bright yellow flowers.
Absolutely. Loves the heat, tolerates the humidity. It's a southeast native, Macrodonia is. This particular variety we introduced because it is an early to flower variety, flowering about week 6, where the old variety flowered about week 19. Works great in landscape, as you can see here. Works very nicely in a mixed container or basket that it will spill over the edge, and it works well with a lot of different plants, including the sweet potato vine that it's
right next to it there.
That's next to it.
The Illusion Midnight Lace, and I bet it would work well with Snow Princess.
It may work well with Snow Princess, although I suspect Snow Princess would be a little too vigorous.
That might take over.
Yes, it might.
This is another one. What, last year introduction or 2 years ago?
It was introduced 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It is a lobularia, formerly called a lissum, but don't think of them as a lissum. Snow Princess is indeed a unique item in that she will tolerate the cold temperatures. I live in Ohio, and she takes down to 20 degrees there, and then will take the heat and humidity of Florida and Texas and elsewhere. Does slow down in July, August for a couple weeks, but then will pop back up. Does want to be kept evenly moist and well fed.
All right, and speaking of heat and humidity, here's one we saw a lot of, you may not be aware of it, at the Gaylord Hotel where we toured yesterday. This is the Cleome.
I am aware of that.
Again, this is definitely not a new one.
This is not a new one. It is it's a variety that is different from many Cleomes in that most people think of Cleomes flowering on the top. This flowers not only on the horizon, but also it will send out flowers along the sides as well, making just a nice dark green foliage with lavender flowers. Looks almost like a shrub. It does get about 3.5 to 4 foot tall and equally as wide here in Florida, and it's unique that it does not have thorns, nor does it set seed. It is a sterile variety.
Very cool. So that's Senorita Rosalita Cleome. Hi, it's Katy Moss Warner. Katy, you're at your old stomping ground. Grab the microphone and just say something. What do you think of this?
Chris, this is unbelievable. I remember in 1976 when I came to Florida, they said you couldn't grow bedding plants in Florida. Everything was being grown in market packs. I mean, look at what we have here. It is amazing. Not only can we grow bedding plants, but the variety is remarkable.
Here we're looking at dahlias here. We've got
dahlias
here.
We have phlox. Look at the phlox. Look at coleus in full sun. Unbelievable. So they're all new. They're genera that are new. There are cultivars that are new. It's just unbelievable. So,
and it's still warm out here, though. That's not new.
It's burning hot. And yesterday was the hottest day for that time of year since 1917. So it is burning hot out here. And look at how gorgeous.
And we got a good crowd, too.
Fabulous crowd.
I think there's a couple of hundred people that are going to come through here, industry folks, over the next couple of days.
Fabulous crowd. And you know, one of the things they're talking about now, which I think is a great idea, is to actually use this trial here to get consumer feedback on these new varieties. And awesome. I think that that would be just a really huge step forward
how many people
for
come
the
through
industry.
EPCOT every year? What,
through EPCOT, they'll probably get 2,000.
It's a busy place.
It's a busy. I think they're getting probably close to 10 million now coming through.
Can you imagine that?
And during the garden festival. And during the garden festival, it's a pretty good crowd.
10 million people see this Fortunia petunia, they'll die. Everybody, Ty Strode from Agri-Starts, and I think of them as like a foliage company, you know, traditional kind of stuff. But we're looking at, what are these things over here? Blueberries?
Yeah.
Blackberries? Fruits? With some actual fruit on them here.
Yeah, back there you got even more on the emeralds back there.
All right, so tell us about these things, Ty.
Yeah, well, we have traditionally been a foliage company, but we have been working on with small fruits for the last 5 years, doing a lot of the southern high bush genetics from the University of Florida, which just some really great varieties. Blueberry.
Point out a couple.
Right here we got blueberry emerald. Just really nice habit with pruning. It gets really, really full, and the best part about it is it requires almost no chill. We were able to get fruit on plants, growing them in a greenhouse, so they never actually vernalized, and just produced. And so nice evergreen variety.
So this would be good for Florida. Where else?
Good for southeast.
Anywhere in the southeast.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And I think some people here at Disney have been enjoying the blueberries because they had more when we sent them over.
I think I'm going to grab one of these myself. Let me take that one right there. Looks pretty good.
And then,
oh yeah, that's good.
Thornless blackberries from the John Clark's program at the University of Arkansas. He's done some really nice breeding work. Ouachita, thornless variety, nice upright habit, great for the home garden and edible containers.
Very cool. So are you seeing an increase in like edible containers and fruit crops like this?
Absolutely. People are wanting to get rewarded more than just visually now. You know, a lot of people are wanting to do some home gardening and bring stuff from their backyard to their table.
Well, having just tasted that blueberry, I think I might do that myself.
All right.
Thanks, Ty.
Definitely. Thanks, Chris.
And look, it's the best dressed man in floriculture, folks. TJ Higgins from Sunfire Nursery. How's it going, TJ?
Good, Chris. How are you?
No tuxedo today.
Oh, a little bit warm for that.
But you're going to talk about something here called buffalo grass. What the heck is
yes.
What the heck
well,
is
buffalo grass is a turf grass. It's a LEED certified grass. It's very drought tolerant. Well, LEED, you can get up to 4 LEED points. If you're doing a green project, I mean, it's very environmentally friendly. We'll call it that. It's very drought tolerant. Roots go down 7 to 8 feet. Uses very little water, and probably the biggest advantage for us is that you never have to mow it if you don't want to mow it. What you're looking at is the tallest it will get. That's been in there for 6 weeks, and if anybody in Florida knows how lawn would look after 6 weeks of not mowing it, it's not going to be like that.
Now, how far north would this stuff go? Could I use this in Chicago?
No, there are other varieties, but this particular variety, Prestige, is about Tennessee south.
All right, that's good.
Up in Chicago, there's one called UC Verde, and you'd be using something like that.
All right, well, the Toro and the Rainbird folks might not like it, but...
Sorry.
That's buffalo grass from Sunfire Nursery. Hey everybody, it's the lovely Jamie Kitz from Sakata. And you know, we were just joking a bit about things that have been around a long time, but that are still wonderful, and you should I won't say yes, yes. That you're trying your garden. And Sakata's showing some of those profusion zinnias. Now, we have to admit, they've been around for a long time. Why are you showing them out here at EPCOT?
We're showing them out here at EPCOT because of their outstanding heat performance. And these are fairly young plants, but we would see these going through the summer and continue to flower. And we also have a lot of landscape customers here today, and they're very excited about the fact that they don't need to deadhead, that profusions bury their dead or their old flowers, so that it becomes a very cost-efficient crop also for the landscape.
Right, and I'll have you know, River Ridge, my famous neighborhood, is going to be getting some of these this summer.
Fantastic.
So we're going to be testing them out at River Ridge.
We also want to point out the doubles though, because very often in our industry when we hear double, we think, oh, less flowers, not as great a performance. But the profusion doubles do carry that same performance as the singles. And for a grower, it's the same crop time, so there's no additional cost to be doing a double.
And a bunch of these were AAS winners too, which always
yes,
says a good
bunch
thing.
of them were AAS winners. Yes, bunches.
Check with my buddy Diane Blazek on that. But, and sun patience. Now these have been out for a few years as well. But same kind of story here. Now we got a little spotting going on in these. I would ignore that. Just a little bit of water damage or something.
Yeah, something went on this front row because we're not seeing it in the back row. It's interesting to hear the people coming through because a lot of the Florida, this is an ideal Florida plant, and a lot of the people coming through have not heard of some patients or tried them, especially the landscapers. So what we're finding now in the Florida market, they're not only good for one season, that this can be a year-round crop. And for the growers, they can produce it instead of New Guineas, and it'll tolerate this heat and keep going.
Right.
And again, what we see about sun patience is when other crops in the heat start to decline, that's when the sun patience takes off.
Oh, I know it's getting near 11 o'clock. I'm starting to decline. How about you?
I'm declining, yes.
Bob's got a beverage already. Thank you, Jamie. All we need is a little bit of sushi to go with this beautiful wasabi Caladiums and Susan Schmitz. That's one of the newest from Fall Flora Plant, right?
It is. It's a vegetative variety, so grown from cuttings, and wasabi means green. So you can see we've got this beautiful lime green color.
Is that what wasabi actually means, green?
Well,
I thought it meant hot and spicy and put it on your sushi, but it doesn't matter. It's a good name and it's a good variety. Look how it's performing there.
It's bred here from the University of Florida, so it's heat tolerant, humidity tolerant, sun tolerant.
More so than us.
Exactly, yeah. We're not so heat tolerant.
All right, what else we got?
And also very late to flower, which is key for lower maintenance with Caladiums. Yeah. Bred from the same place is Sultana. Also a great variety for full sun, heat tolerant, humidity tolerant, late to flower, great color combination with that burgundy center and the lime green edges.
All right, now I wanted to look at this one over here, the new Torinia, because this is one we haven't seen bred on in a long time as a category, but Pan American has brought out a brand new Torinia series.
It is from Pan American, the Kauai series, that tells you that it likes heat and humidity, and actually in Florida, where there is high humidity, you can see it here in full sun. Normally, Torinia is considered a semi-shade plant.
Oh, this is one of the best Florida bedding plants I've ever seen, and it's so underused.
And the Kauai series is known for its really bright colors. So you can see the really vivid blues in the deep blue color here.
This is an improvement over the Clown series?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So,
and a seed variety.
Okay, yeah. All right. And so give me one more that people were talking about here.
One more, you know what? The Archangels are a new vegetative series from Ball Flora Plant. Compact and strong branching, dark green leaves, but the biggest message are the flowers, which are 3 times as large.
Well, put your hand down on one of those plants so we can see how big the flowers are.
Take a look at the size of those flowers. 3 times as large as the standard Angelonia series. So more color in the landscape bed. You can see the amazing uniform habit in the pink here. Comes in 4 colors: white, purple, pink, and raspberry.
And so that's a more compact series or variety, but bigger flowers.
Exactly.
Very nice.
So great for the landscape.
All right. Thank you so much, Susan.
You're welcome.
Pretend you're a journalist.
So Theresa, who would you say is your favorite employee?
My flower girl, of course.
Wow, that was so sad.
Chris, you better not do that.
Allan, why don't you interview Jim Pugh here? No, you take that. All right, you here. Do something for me here, Jim. Take this. No, interview Allan Armitage. Let's see if Jim Pugh from American Farms can do a journalist's job out here.
I don't think so.
At the
Otherwise,
trials.
I'd have your job.
All right, but here you've got one of the world-renowned horticulturists and plant geeks out in this lovely FNGLA EPCOT trial, and you can't think of one question to ask him. Come on, Jim.
No. Where'd you get the hat? Where did you get the hat?
I copied it from you, Jim, that's for sure.
The Tilly hat, the world's best.
Jim, my hat is more famous than all over me.
I know. We're trying.
So we got that done.
Hey everybody, look what else I found here. Terri Cantwell, and she's growing these beautiful calla lilies here at, I'm sorry, there's a little inside joke there. Yeah. Caladiums, I know these darn well. These are Caladiums from Beytes Sons and Daughters in Lake Placid, Florida, the world headquarters of the caladium industry. And you guys have some really nice varieties. Pick out a couple that folks like here and talk about.
Well, these are all University of Florida varieties. We selected them about 4 years ago, so we're the only growers that have them right now because we're a little bit ahead of the game. This is Tapestry, which is a full sun, kind of pink-white. Gets about the same height as Carolyn Horton or Red Flash.
Right. How tall is that for those people who don't know
24 inches, 24 to 36 inches, depending on how much they like where they are.
That looks like a big one.
It's a big one.
It'll do in the shade too?
It will do in the shade too. All caladiums will do well in the shade, but if you're going to full sun, you need to have these. This got a superior rating. One of the few superior ratings from Disney.
Very nice.
This one is Firefly.
Now that I really like. Talk about a vivid.
Yeah, it's kind of between a red and a pink. We call it a red sweetheart when we're just to the employees so they know what we're talking about.
I would say reddish pinkish.
Reddish pinkish, right. And we call it Firefly, and it is a beautiful 4-inch pot, but it also looks good in baskets. It looks good in a 10-inch pot. And it's very red in the full sun. And then we have Strawberry Star, which is normally a little bit taller than this. Got a little bit of fertilizer damage initially
out here. Blushing there in the center
got
of the
a little
leaves.
blushing.
Is that typical?
Sometimes. I think that's probably heat stress.
Okay.
But people tend to like it. But it has the red dots.
Very nice. So the caladium business going well for you, Terri?
The caladium business is going well for us, yes.
All right. Very nice work.
Thank you.
And say it. Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Hey, speaking of Go Gators, Dr. David Clark, how's it going, my friend?
Good.
And you're the calliest guy,
right?
For University of Florida, right?
Yes, sir.
And we've got a few here, but what have the folks coming through, the industry folks coming through, which ones have they liked the most?
Well, I think today the ones that they've liked most have been Radiant Panache, which is right here in the very front.
Radiant Panache. Did you name that one?
No, we generally don't name them.
I didn't think you even knew a word like panache. What is?
I have no clue what panache means. I think it's something beautiful.
That's a French pancake.
Oh, okay, a radiant pancake.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
Anyway, so
that's a new release this year. Cottage Hill Farms has got that one coming out.
All right, what else?
Let's see. New this year in Coleus is from Ball Horticultural Company is Sultana and Wasabi.
Oh yeah,
they go together.
We've taken a look at those.
Well, they go together with the greens matching.
So it's interesting. You develop them, but then you give them out to these different companies to do the introduction.
We don't give them out. We certainly license them to them, but they usually do the naming because that's what fits into their structure better.
And it helps fund your research programs
too. We've named one variety, and it's Big Red Judy, named after Judy Brashear here in Gainesville, Florida, and she's one of our biggest moral supporters and one of our gardening testers in Gainesville, and so that's the biggest, reddest plant on the market, and Judy is a very boisterous woman, and the plant fits her perfectly.
All right, give us one more.
One more new one is here. This one was called Experimental 09-18-1. It just received the name.
That's catchy.
It just received the name Cocoa Mint, and that will be offered through Proven Winners. It has a nice green center in the center of the foliage there.
Oh, yeah, you can see that little bit of mintiness coming out in there.
That comes out a little bit more in the shade. But that's going to be a real nice new one.
Very cool. So let's hear you say it. Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Right. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.